It's preparing. It's preparing to live stream. There we are. It's preparing. There we are. So we're live on YouTube. Hello, everybody who is joining us. We are live right now on YouTube on Research Education with our good friend, Petr Stepichev, and his Surprise Pedagogy Castle. I like to call it that way, because you've really built yourself quite a surprising classroom in your own home. It's wonderful. I already see the basketball hoop behind you.
yeah, that's the one. Well, you can watch our first stream to learn more about it. That's interesting. Why an English teacher needs a basketball hoop.
Yeah, it's a basketball. It's a very nice basketball hoop. And yes, our first live stream, you showed how to use it, how to motivate kids into activities with this basketball hoop. Today, however, we're not just going to take a look at different elements of your Surprise Pedagogy Castle. By the way, any teachers, if you're interested in developing your home studio, your home classroom in such a way, watch the first live stream with Petr. It's really interesting. He's got all these different elements in the room that participate in this Surprise Pedagogy to engage and motivate kids in learning English. But today we're going to take a slightly different path, right, Petr? We're going to take a look at full lessons that you've prepared for us.
Yeah, to make it more holistic, but well, meaning not the system, but to make it holistic, like in the context of a particular lesson.
Exactly.
That is novelty that we're going to have. And I really like your metaphor, the castle metaphor. For two reasons. First of all, building systems and building on the whole is something that teachers do and something that I do regularly. And the better we build, the easier and more interesting it is for us and for our students. Because if you have a system, it's easier to get the bricks into. When it's chaotic, it's more difficult for both teachers and students. So I like the building metaphor here a lot. And I like the metaphor of a fairy tale, which also is in the idea of a castle, because that's something that I do definitely for smaller kids, but that's something that I try to do even for adults, because people need this kind of...
Oh, Petr, you've muted yourself. There we go.
Yeah, it's about the fairy part. On the other hand, it's about storytelling. So English is not just a number of rules and a number of lists of words. It's about storytelling. So that's many good things about this metaphor. So
awesome. And I really like as well two things that you mentioned while mentioning my two things. System, first of all, I think that's something we're on the same page on, and it's something that quickly got us to understand we were like-minded professionals, because we both immediately noticed that we develop systems. It might sound a bit, engineering style, but actually systems might seem annoying to design, to put in place at the beginning, but they make everything so much easier. My lesson preparation has never been this short and at the same time this efficient. Since I started developing systems as well with Tom, it makes everything easier for us. And the second thing I loved is, as you said, engaging. You said engaging for the students, but also for us teachers, because I think we can all agree as teachers, we all had teachers, and we all still probably do have teachers where we're never-ending learners.
Yeah, that's it.
But yes, I think we all remember examples of teachers who didn't give us good lessons, mostly because they had fallen in a rut. They had fallen into a routine. They weren't passionate about their subject anymore, about their lessons, and both suffer. The students suffer because the teaching is less engaging, less effective, and the teacher suffers because they don't enjoy their job. So surprise pedagogy is going to help make it more interesting to us as well. Yes, teachers.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I believe it is both for students and for teachers.
Fantastic.
And, I'll share a few scenarios, lesson scenarios that employ this elements of surprise pedagogy.
All right. So you've got two planned, right? One beginner lesson and a lesson for teenagers.
Yeah. So we'll probably start with the lesson for beginners.
Absolutely.
I have such kind of lessons when I go to different centers who invite me to conduct a seminar, a workshop, and so-called open lesson. That is what I usually do with these kids who see me for the first time. I come to the classroom. The group is usually about 10 students. So it can be both for private or state education. I do it with the kids that I don't know and who don't know me. They are a bit nervous in the beginning because they kind of think like an unknown person coming from Moscow, what to expect from him. Yeah, but it is even better if you do it with the group that you're familiar with.
Okay.
So the group is usually those who can read in English.
All right.
So they are like 8, 9-year-olds, about so. The first thing I do is I ask my students, why do you need English? So tell me the reasons you need English. And I get their answers. I ask them for verbs. So even if the group is not very advanced in in English, they can still say a few words in English, a few verbs in English. And they say, okay, we need English too. And that's quite funny, by the way, because many students, they say, well, they are quite correct. I mean, they name, well, the parts of the like competence, they name skills. They say we need English to speak, to write, to read, and to listen. So they don't name it as a system, but they name just when answers pop up in a few minutes, I see that on the board we have these 4 skills. So even small kids realize that English is about these 4 skills mostly. Yeah. One more thing. Yeah.
May I cut in here? So you said they're beginners. Do you do this only in English, or the kids can respond in their L1?
Yeah, that's a good question, really. Actually, I have different experience of doing that. Sometimes the management or the teachers of the language center asks me to do it in English only. In one case, I was told like our children will be shocked if you speak Russian to them, even like that. And so I prefer not to shock the kids. And then I speak only English. But in this case, they need extra help and extra motivation. So the motivation is that I tell them that I'm not from Russia. I name myself Mr. Peterson. And I have a legend, like where I am from. So when kids ask questions, I usually choose a small town in Great Britain or America. Not London, not Washington, because or not New York, because students might know the topics. London is the capital of Great Britain, so they might know more about the center of London than me. So I choose small cities. I have the legend about it. So
Nice.
my appearance helped me because some people take me for like a Turk person abroad. Some people take me for Canadian. So I don't look very, very Russian if I speak English, and if I pretend to be not Russian, children usually take it.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, one more thing. For the lesson and during the lesson, I give mudriks. Mudriks are the stamps, the points. And what I notice is that when I speak English and Russian, mudriks are distributed more more fairly. Like each student gets at least 3 or 4 mudriks. So what does it mean? So if you answer anything, you get a stamp, you get this point. And it means that when I conduct a lesson in English, but I can also speak Russian to children, everybody participates. So I can do that. I can make people participate even if they're shy in the beginning. If I do it in English, it's more difficult. We have a gap between those who participate a lot and those who are quite reserved. So it can be like one person has 1 mudrik and another person might have about 20 mudriks. So there is a gap, and it usually happens. It's a rule. I can say that I see it from my empirical experience. That is something that happens when you speak the language all your students understand. They are more engaged. It's how it works. So if I don't have restrictions, I still may say a few words in Russian to my students, especially to those who need it. If I have such restrictions, my wife, who is usually with me, who is my partner, friend, and teacher of English at school, she acts as my interpreter. So I do not do in my legend. My wife just helps those children who are completely lost in the situation when some strange guy coming from a foreign country speaks only English to them.
Mr. Peterson.
And when I ask this question, usually it's quite simple. Students say it in English. Some of them might say it in Russian, then I ask them to translate, but I don't give them points if they say it in Russian. But I really need their reasons why they need English. So sometimes they cry it out in Russian, and I translate if it's so-called mixed group when I can speak Russian. I also get this answer on the board. Yeah, so on the board, I have all the reasons why.
Listen, write.
Yeah, but they have lots of reasons like work, travel. So the skills are just part of this number of reasons. One more thing I noticed is that many students use formulas from their textbooks. And it's so strange to hear, like, why do you need English? And a small kid looking at me saying to match, to circle. Yeah, they remember the formulas from their authentic textbooks, like which is in English.
The exercises.
And, I don't know, to match what, to circle. Why do you need English to circle? So it's kind of strange. But in almost all the groups, I have a few answers like that. So it means that some students don't really realize and perceive English as language, but as a lesson. So they need English to do some tasks at the lesson. And definitely I like the answers like to sing, to understand songs, like things like that, to understand videos. It's more personal. I'm looking for a personal approach. But then for really small kids, for these beginners, I offer one more option that they usually miss. So they need English to do some magic things. So on the whole, this lesson is a lesson of magic for them. And I refer to the idea that usually spells are in a foreign language. So spells are not in the native language, because native language, we know it. It wouldn't be any secret, but it should be some mystery in it. So spells are usually in a foreign language, in Latin, or could be in English. I showed some of the spells last time. The easiest one to show is this fly thing. When I ask my group, like, tell me the word летать in English, and I'll make things fly. And they say, fly, please. And I make things fly like this.
Nice.
So it's quite simple. I can show you how it works. Actually, I have a pen right there. So it's very simple, but it makes this first impression, and everybody pays attention and want to repeat. Well, teenagers want to understand how it works.
Of course.
And small kids mostly want to repeat. They, instead of trying to understand, they just try to do the same. And sometimes they succeed because just they try too hard, and they may have it for a couple of seconds, and they think they are already a little bit magicians.
With static and everything.
Yeah, that's yeah. And then I focus the lesson on the idea of magic. Actually, I show a few more tricks. I put their names into the sack. I'll show the sack in our first stream. We put the names here, and then let me put something in here. Okay, this one I put it here, and then I just we see that it's gone. Yeah,
it's empty.
Yeah, so things like that. So I show them a few tricks. I'll share one more trick that I do at the lesson that you may easily repeat at your lessons. So that is a math trick.
Those maths magic tricks.
Yeah, I have a bunch of them actually. So what do we have here? Let's actually do it together.
Okay, think of a number and write it down.
Wait,
okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, double it, yeah.
Add 10.
Oh, great, I can see it myself. Add 10.
Divide your result by 2. Subtract the first number.
Yeah, and color coding helps. So color coding helps you to see what numbers to refer to. So if you do it,
finished,
you will get an answer, and your answer, I'll try to guess, your answer is 5.
Yes.
Great, yeah. So it means that I'm a good magician and that you are really good at math. You did it quickly. It might be a problem with some of the kids because when their calculations are wrong, and I cannot help them because at this time, while they're calculating, I give them the books, and that's a magic book, yeah? And I leave the classroom for them not to think I kind of influence their choice or see their answers. So I leave the classroom, and some of them can be wrong in calculations.
True.
And then they think I'm a bad magician because their calculation, the answer is different from what I say. When I have my wife interpreter next to me, she can help definitely with calculations. So I use it in some of the scenarios, but not in all of them. On the whole, I just used a bunch of magic things just to show how English works for magic. Usually I adopt the spells or the tricks or the things that are known in Russian in the lessons of physics, for example, or just used by magicians.
Yes, you set the tone around magic, around mystery, and it engages the kids.
Mhm.
I can
Sometimes,
imagine if you pick spells from the Harry Potter world, for example, it
Mhm.
would be more complex. This would be for a higher level because it's not just simply fly, things like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Definitely. And magic actually involves not only action, but I like action because um, by action magic, we show that English might work or not work. If you make a mistake, magic doesn't work.
I see what
I
you
don't
mean.
put a bad mark, but just magic doesn't work. It's like with people. When you speak bad English, usually you're not scolded by people, but just people are puzzled. They don't understand what you're talking about. They don't do what you want. So that's very true to life. Magic is a very, very close to life thing.
I see what you
Um,
mean.
yeah, but magic is not only about action magic. We can do some fortune telling. That is something I really like, and we'll also do it in this part of the lesson. Um, I write a word on a sheet of paper, and now it's blank. I write
Uh-huh.
a new word, and I ask my students, and the more students I have, the better in this case. I show them this word, and they say, okay, that is a noun. What do you want to do with this noun? And students generate their answers. Like, what do you want to do with this? It can
Um,
be
burn
any.
it,
Mhm, mhm,
take it,
okay. Yeah, it can be food.
cook it.
It can be anything. Yeah. So usually students think of words like to eat it. Like they have topics like food
Of
at
course.
school. So that this answer that's come up. And then I open it up and we have children. For example, it's you should not eat children, for example. Or sometimes I have a textbook. So it can be a textbook. So burn a textbook. It's
Huh?
something that many students love doing, well, would like to do, but they
Yeah,
definitely don't.
I came up with the verbs. I told you I wanted to burn it and I wanted
Yeah.
to eat it. So
To eat it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So in this case, the more unusual this combination is, the more interesting fortune telling is. Because sometimes when combinations are too good, it's not so interesting. And the idea is usually in the textbooks, we show the word first, and then students make collocations. In this
yes,
case, we make collocations and then I show the word. And it comes as fortune telling. So again, it's magical stuff. So,
nice.
but we need to move from surprising facts and methods to one more block of surprise pedagogy to get surprised of your own potential. So surprise pedagogy is based on three things, like surprising facts. We take them from real life around us or from English itself. So we can interpret any interesting fact and it can be part of our lesson in English. Or we can take facts of the English language and culture. For example, for many students, if we take advanced levels for many students, it's still surprise and mystery that two countries, the United States and Australia, are technically not English-speaking countries. So English is not an official language in these countries. It is, I mean, in the constitution in Russia, we have like the national language, so-called.
Okay.
And the United States do not have this notion. So you may use any language you want, actually. And the same about Australia. That's quite an interesting fact. Many
So
people
the
take for
surprise
granted.
here is the cultural fact.
Yeah, the cultural fact. Yeah. So it can be a fact from the culture, from the language itself, or from any actually field, because English embraces all fields being a language. Surprising facts, that can be here. Surprising methods, that's what I do with magic. But we need one more thing. Students should be surprised like how smart, how well creative they are. So I try to show students that they can do more than they think. For example, I say, and I do it with the help of statistics. For example, I show them a grammar cube and I say, okay, you have this 4 or 6 blocks. I'll give you these blocks, and in 15 minutes, as you are magicians, you will be able to make 1,024 sentences. So
Nice.
it's a real number. You can really make 1,024 sentences. So if you say, okay, you can build sentences in past simple, present simple, future simple, and modal verbs, it sounds not so engaging. It's not a particular number. So students get surprised when they get this, like, in 15 minutes, you'll learn, oh, that much. And that where surprise comes.
To summarize, surprise in facts, surprise in methodology, the magic tricks, things like that, and surprise in their own potential.
Yeah, that's it.
And you mainly use numbers for that, yes? To highlight, to stress, highlight to the students what they have achieved.
Yeah. So what they have achieved and what they're going to achieve. So show them that is what we are going to achieve by the end of this part of the lesson, the whole. So with this, and I also use the form. Like here, for example, we have, if you put it like this, you can rotate it anyhow, and you get sentences that are correct. It's magnetic. You cannot put it differently. If it's just a magnet, it won't work differently. So what I do is I ask my students to close their eyes. So first of all, I mix it somehow, like here, for example. Will help eyewear. So I memorize the order. I remember the correct order. Where will I help, for example, or how will it be? How can be any. How can I help? Let it be. Oh, can is different. Yeah. Okay, let me hear. How can I help? So then I close my eyes and try to get it back in the right order. So I'll do it now, like close my eyes. Try to, okay, put it here. And as far as I remember, it should be, I hope it's okay. Yeah, I've done it. Because it's difficult to do it in the reversed. When you see students do it just in front of them on the table. Yeah, and one more aspect of this, that students do it with their eyes closed, and when they come home, they say, yeah, I can make sentences with my eyes closed. So it's like a metaphor. In Russian, we have the metaphor, с закрытыми глазами делать. Very easy. It's so easy for me. Like I can do it anytime in any conditions. So this transition here is we do magic together with you with the help of English. And then the transition goes to you are a magician, because you can do so lots of things, great things with the help of English. And I give the tools to achieve that. So we have a few activities like that. We may have this activity, we may have the activity with the big grammar cube. It's so big, I cannot put it, well, maybe it will fit in if I use it this way. So that's printed.
Very good. Okay, I see what you mean.
He wanted her to stop working. Or maybe he just wanted to stop working himself. He wanted to stop working. Or maybe he just wanted to stop. So it's great flexibility.
And I like the fact that you have color-coded the different elements.
Yeah, actually, it is also between the tools that I have.
Yes,
for example,
the ED and the E are yellow, so that the color code stays. Students remember. and
Yeah, yeah.
associated to them. Mhm.
On the whole, color code is a popular thing in English, highlighting things. But what I do is I keep the colors from one technology, well, from one model to another.
Exactly.
I may miss it if technology doesn't allow to do it. For example, in wooden grammar cube, I could not do that. So
I
it needs a
noticed. I
different
noticed in
technology.
your wooden grammar
Mm.
cube the difference. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. But I do have it, for example, when we speak of grammar gloves, I have the same color coding actually with grammar gloves.
Perfect.
Uh, well, it's already summer, but still almost summer. But for Russia,
Good
okay,
cotton gloves.
winter never ends. I was in Karelia a few days ago, and there was still snow in the woods. So let me share the grammar gloves that we might need. So this finger is for requests.
Pointing.
Yep. Requests. So let it be read. Read.
Uh-huh.
The next finger is the largest one, the biggest, the longest, I should say. And it's in the middle. So let be a subject. They read. This little finger is like little kid. Little kids usually ask questions all the time. They ask why, where. So I have a kid, 3-year-old kid, so I know it for sure. A person who usually asks questions. So let it be a question word. So why they read. And we have this finger. In English, it's called a ring finger, and I do use it as a ring finger. But in Russian, it's called безымянный, no name finger. So strangely enough, we gave names to everything in the world, including Sputniks in space that became international, yeah, but not the name for this finger. It still remains безымянный. And as it is no name finger, I put something that cannot be translated from English into Russian, and that is an auxiliary verb. So we have this
I like the
grammar
story
on our
of
fingertips.
each finger.
And it feels really tender. If you touch it, you can feel how tender it is. It's also part of this activity. So the magic thing, the magic demonstration, and then the activities that show students that they can do. Like I give 2 sets of grammar gloves, and you should put it on fingers quicker than your partner. And it's a really quick activity. It's like your games, like you can use it like for 1 minute, for 2 minutes. It's a short period of time, then one more pair comes up. So it's really great when the lesson is that dynamic. Because when the answer of one student is like 10 minutes, others get bored.
Of course.
So we should change it all the time, and then we can work with all kinds of students, including very active students, because many students are quite naughty because they just don't know what to do. They're finished, or they have not started doing things.
Well, I can imagine, as you said, they can make 1024 combinations. So
yeah,
they can continue making more and more and more.
They're pretty busy. Yeah, they're pretty busy at the lesson.
And because it's about building, it doesn't seem, because let's face it, they could do the same thing by writing, by, you know, the traditional fill in the blanks.
Sure.
But that's not interesting. What you're presenting is something actual physical. They're physically active, they're building something. And yeah, kids 7, 8, 9 years old, it works like a charm with them. They're going to want to make more combinations. The more combinations they do, the more they notice the patterns. It's always the same colors on the same fingers, things like that, and always the same kind of words.
Yeah, actually, they tried, like they put it, they put it into the cube and they rotate it, and then they tried as on their fingers. We make grammar soft and tender. Then we drink. In the first series of the podcasts, we have this mug.
Yes.
Used for drinking. And this we can do the same or like the same using the puzzle. So different presentations. Methodologists say we need to present material 6 or 7 times to get it properly revised and remembered. But my idea is not to do it with the help of one tool. We need a number of tools which are different. It can solve 2 problems. On the one hand, students will find what is better for them, because some like 3D cubes more, some like grammar gloves. Some teenagers don't love grammar gloves because they think it's kind of childish, so they prefer like hard things. So it's different. But one more thing is that these tools are just present the same material with a different focus, with different form, and it's really helpful. So after this part, for each activity, like you participate, you get a point. So the idea is not to evaluate each action like bad, good or bad. If they participate, they get a point. If they participate more, they get more points. So there is no such thing.
You don't reward results, you reward participation.
Yeah, in this, yeah. But actually, there should be participation in English. So if you say like, okay, well, how do you use your English? Я танцую, so it doesn't count. So if they say it in Russian, it doesn't count. So it's I have positive evaluation, so I don't evaluate bad results. I mean, so if they do it, if they don't participate or they make mistakes, I just don't put point. So making mistakes, I understand. I mean that mistakes that prevent me from understanding what's what they want to say. Actually, yeah. And at the end, we calculate the number of points, the number of mudriks, and I give out prizes for the students. Definitely, I understand that it doesn't work at any lesson, because you should, well, if you have less prizes for every lesson, it is quite expensive, and it will not be like a feast. It will be a routine.
Agreed. I think Piotr, I think that's a good argument to tell all our governments that teachers should be better paid, right? And
yeah, definitely.
Better budgets, and education needs better budgets. Please, governments, listen.
Yeah, English.
Some of your budgets are going in weird places.
Teachers do contribute.
Exactly. Give more budgets to teachers, and maybe we'll be able to buy more prizes and more tools.
From paper, whatever. Yeah, lots of things we contribute, not only to our self-development, CPDs, but also to lessons to our students.
Well, I'm joking a little bit, but yes, I agree. I agree with what you said. If you bring prizes every lesson, it stops being special. We can't have prizes every lesson. Although the prizes don't have to be something physical, they can also be kind of activities and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. Like, for example, we play at the lesson, we play irregular verbs. The first lesson, we play maybe a lot, like 20 minutes. And the next lesson, we don't play, and students say, we would like to play. Will we play this time? I say, oh, we have so many things to do, like this, this, and that. And they say, okay, we'll get ready with it soon, and let's play. So it's kind of reward. I don't cheese them with my games. I don't say, okay, now we'll play again and again. So I kind of tease them, show them how we can do that. And I just put it on the table. And usually students ask themselves, like, will we play this game? I say, oh, okay, if you insist, and if we have enough time for that. That's one part, that's a rewarding part of the, playing games. And one more thing is that, when game is embedded into the lesson as an essential component, it is great. It is a special skill of a teacher to have this game really part of the lesson. That you cannot, if you take it away, you should think of different lesson. The lesson in its current state will collapse. So I usually try to embed the games. But in some cases, I use them as warmers, as to close up, or for motivational reasons. Yeah. So that is for beginners. The scenario around the magic. Yeah, and that's great. Let's call this lesson building a magic castle.
Yes, and as you said, just to reiterate, it's founded on 3 principles of your surprise pedagogy: surprise with facts, surprise with methodology, and surprise the students of their own potential.
Yeah, and the last one is difficult, especially when it comes to adults. They say, "Oh, I've learned English like 20 years ago. I don't know why."
There's a lot of discouragement. I agree.
Yeah, a lot of discouragement and negative experience, and it also helps to overcome. Surprise pedagogy helps to overcome this kind of things. For teenagers,
you said you had one for teenagers.
Yeah, we need an approach that also shows how English may help them. But magic may not work the way we want it to work, because teenagers want to know how tricks are delivered, so they are interested. Also, if you have the same lesson with teenagers, it also works, actually. But with a different focus. They try to really understand how you do it. Some of them might think it's childish, so it depends, actually, how you present it. And definitely, if you do it the very same way it won't work. The better thing is to show how English works in a practical way. What I love is a coconut lesson.
Coconut lesson?
Coconut lesson, yeah.
Coconut?
Coconut, yeah.
All right.
Well, what I do it privately. I do it in groups. I try it in different formats. It changes slightly, but on the whole, the principle works for both private students and groups, and even for distant education, but it's better definitely for full-time. What is the idea? The first time, it is actually, this scenario is for 2 lessons. The first lesson, I ask my group, let's take a group, do you know how to crack a coconut and eat it? Or who has ever tried it? And it turns out that in Moscow, there is usually 1 or sometimes 2 students in a group that have actually tried a real coconut. Not bounty, not like open, but
of course,
you bought a real coconut and did it themselves. So it means in some groups, there is nobody. Nobody has ever tried doing that. Then we watch a video. I ask them to find a video to see how it works, how to crack a coconut.
But you don't impose a video. They should find one themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's important because first they may see some advertisement, some video that is not relevant. For example, one of the first links is how to crack a coconut if you are on an uninhabited island. So they use stones, they throw it from a palm tree. So it's something that you may not use. Like you need to crack a coconut at home in Moscow in a flat. Yeah. And students that have good critical skills and that have more experience in like watching YouTube videos, they will stop irrelevant video and find a different one. Students that are more like lesson oriented, so-called like proper students, they usually like take the video, watch it till the end. They realize it's not the right video, but they have watched half of it, so they do not like to waste the effort. So it's quite interesting how different students approach that. Actually, I know a few videos that are good, but I try not to give a clue. I just look how, and I discuss it with the students. Like, do you think this video is like will help you in your real situation, and I have a coconut right here. Like, will you be able to use these hints? Sometimes they find videos with strange coconuts that we may not find in Moscow shops. So they're different, something that you might get abroad probably, but not in Moscow. So that's also irrelevant. So you need to find a video for a real coconut that you may get. Then I ask students to put it down, to write a manual, small instruction, like watch a video and let it be like, point 1, I should take a coconut. Point 2, I should drill 3 holes. Yeah. Have you ever tried it?
I've never tried. I've never cracked a coconut.
Oh, that's interesting. You can do that. You watch a video, yeah, then make an instruction. Usually it's about 30 minutes or sometimes more when we discuss it, when we, it depends on.
This is a big part of the lesson, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's the whole lesson. It depends on how we organize it. Then we part.
Do students have to only look for YouTube videos in English, or can they surf?
No, in English. That is the limitation, in English. Yeah, but if they, well, it's still possible to watch it in Russian, but make instruction in English.
Oh, yes. Anyways, they have to make
also difficult. I may say that it's also challenging if you watch it in Russian, but your instruction should be in English. But usually I do it in English, both video and to get all the skills, actually. The next lesson, it can be like several days after, it can be 2 weeks. Like I had students that had English like once in 2 weeks at university. That is crazy, but that's how sometimes the system works.
Do you agree on that?
So usually in a week, we have the next lesson. And I bring a real coconut. And I say, okay, get your instructions and try to do it. And they get the instructions. And it is especially visible at the private lessons because a person is responsible for what he has written. If we have a bunch of instructions, they may use each other's work, or I should give everybody a coconut, like each particular person.
Agreed.
Yeah, like I need many coconuts. So what is the idea? You take your instruction, and if you were too formal in creating this instruction, and you don't really remember the video, well, that you watched last week, 1 or 2 times, then you won't be able to crack it. But anyway, in the process, they ask for tools like, give me a hammer, could you give me a screwdriver? So it's communication, it's speaking. So we had listening, writing, speaking, yeah?
And again, it's very physical, like for the kids.
Yeah, all skills, but around coconut. And some of them have to watch the video again, so they understand that what they have written is too formal, it's not enough, they missed several points and doesn't work. So sometimes they will watch it again, or we find a more relevant video at this point. If they quoted the video that is not relevant and they don't know how to use it. And the result of this lesson is the coconut being opened. So we have this coconut, we take this piece, drink the coconut water. So the reward is also quite physical. It's not about the marks or even like verbal reward. It's about the
it's really great because you've centered your English lesson around a concrete task that they have to achieve.
Yeah.
And that is in no way related, especially to language, to English. I mean, you can crack open a coconut in any language.
Actually, yeah, sure.
It's completely irrelevant. So it really is a task, an independent task. They have a clear result at the end to achieve. English is involved in the process, along the whole process, between listening to the video, understanding, and there's so many soft skills that are involved because there's time management. You give them time.
Yeah.
There is critical thinking, as you said, about finding the right videos, finding the right.
Yeah.
Even if you find a relevant video, it might not have the most clear instructions. So you might look for.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes one more case is when I really like the video that they found, because I understand everything. But my student or my group of students, they don't understand it because this video is too difficult, or it may be, I don't know, it may be like American English, like this harsh variant with the very American English with the rural sounds. And so they may just not understand. And I see it as, oh, that's a very clear video. And they just don't understand it. So they need some simpler things. Maybe they need more visual things, because the speaker might disappear and have this paper with instruction like, do it this way. So it's more difficult for them. So they should choose a relevant video, which is relevant not only like describing the tools that they may get here, but also relevant to their level. So it's a very challenging thing to find a relevant manual, a relevant instruction. And actually, it's quite unusual for the Russian people, because we, I don't know, maybe it's not only the Russian people, we do things first and read instructions second. So it is so unusual. Like when you have a coconut, some students, they really do it like that. They take it and they want to do something with it and say, oh, no.
I'll figure it out myself first.
Yeah.
I don't care if somebody has more experience, has done it before. I'll find my way, and then we'll see if my way matches the experienced and wise way.
I understand that some colleagues might beat me up, but I should say that that's probably why a communicative approach is so popular. Like first do and then read the instruction, because traditional teaching is about reading grammar rules first, understanding things, and then start talking. I cannot say I'm against the communicative approach. It's just an analogy, metaphor.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
So
this setup can be repeated with different types of instructions, different.
Actually, yeah. I have kind of the same thing with candy floss making. I have candy floss machine, which is not big, not like in the park, but it's for home use. And to create this candy floss out of sugar, you need to read how it works. And here it's quite it's quite important, because if you don't do it correctly, you may break my machine. So you should heat it first, and then you should add sugar. So if you do it in the wrong way, you may not get candy floss, or you may just break the machine. So I developed this scenario around several things.
Several clear tasks like this with an end result.
Yeah, and with the end result that you can usually taste, because I believe that to digest knowledge, you should swallow it with appetite. You should eat it up with appetite. And one more thing, these objects should be new for students. So if they do it every day, the task will not be a novelty for them. They know it without any instruction how to do it. Yeah. So I try to find things that is new. So on the whole, what I do to sum up these two scenarios. So first, to find a reason why to use English. It can be magic. It can be like doing a practical task. Find a reason. Then address this reason all the time, and build your lesson around this reason. Surprise and challenge in the process. And find ways to measure progress, points, this end results. These are the components.
I like your approach. It's very practical, and yes, as you said at the very beginning, very systematic, which really helps for us teachers to prepare more efficiently. I agree. So you have all these principles, surprised by facts, surprised by methodology, surprise the students in their own potential. And you have your 5-step approach to building a lesson, which centers around the necessity.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
the
I
student
do have a
might
book
use
on
this
that.
language, and you're looking for a context.
Yeah, I have a book on surprise pedagogy, but I don't see it now. Yeah, but anyway, that's a really good summarization anyway. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, and speaking of surprise pedagogy, the best surprise sometimes, yeah, is not the one you get, but the one you give. So, and I believe teachers can give this surprise and make it a tool at their lesson. And today just showed a few ways how to.
I love it. So one, magic with the kids. And this magic, again, was centered around giving students a reason to use English and an end result, something to play with. And then for the teenagers, around instructions of surprising things, as you said, if it's instructions of mundane, everyday things, no point to it. Instructions of something surprising, interesting, again, centered around this task and the end result. And the language just fits in the lesson without being forced into there. I like it a lot. So I believe.
Yeah, we are really at the same page here.
Exactly.
And I believe that's why the event that we're going to have in the end of May together is not just about two interesting people speaking about two separate topics, but that is something that is unification. We both build systems, we both have games to build up skills, and I'd like to announce now officially our seminar that will take place on the 26th of May live in Moscow. That is something that we lack, really, live sessions.
Events.
Yeah, in-person events. So I do invite you to join us at Moscow Institute for Management and Technology, which is also informally called the First Cossack University.
I'm very excited about that, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event. It's really close to Taganskaya metro station, so it's the center of Moscow. After our event, you can get inspired and walk in the Red Square, just reflecting over the material. Seriously speaking, it's on building fluency. And on surprise
I'll present building fluency, you'll present surprise pedagogy, and it'll be very practical. A lot of activities like this that will play, demonstrate, experience together.
Yeah, we'll also issue certificates for participants and give prizes to all the participants. So it's part of your package that you will get from Surprise Pedagogy and I guess from Resource Education. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So in this video, how do bloggers say it? Down below, yeah.
Down below.
Yeah.
I'm not a blogger either.
Yeah, you can click on the link.
I'll put the link
and join.
Yes.
And join this event. That's an interesting thing. This university was first created as the University for Food Industry by the Minister of Food Industry or Taste Industry, вкусовой промышленности. So again, it highlights this metaphor that knowledge should be eaten up with appetite to be digested properly. Nice. So that's the right place to have the seminar. And definitely the university, the students and teachers who will be there, they're quite interesting for like interacting and building up professional connections. There's nothing to really substitute.
Number of places though, because it's an in-person event and at university, so we have a lovely university room, but There is limited seating, so registration will be short.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is. We have limits like the room limits. So,
but we'll be back.
Join us up. Yeah.
All right, very nice.
That's great. So
the
thank you
event will
for
be
the
on 26th
opportunity.
of May. I'll put the event will be on 26th of May. Peter and I together in Moscow at the Moscow State University of Technology and Management, or unofficially called the first Cossack University, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that. I've never been to a university called anything like that. And I'll put the link to register in the comments below.
Great.
All right.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
if you like
so
this virtually, I'm sure you will like us even more in person. Yeah.
Hopefully. You say hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And
sure.
Give surprises to your students. Surprise your students, and may students surprise you with your results, with their results. Actually.
Building fluency and surprise pedagogy, all in one day.
Yeah. 2 thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. Keep in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter, thank you very much for sharing all this with us and with everybody online. We're going to have Peter on a regular basis, of course, to talk more about these kind of surprise activities, surprise techniques that you can use in your lessons, focusing sometimes on lower levels, sometimes on kids, sometimes on teenagers. And we'll stay in tune and definitely see you in Moscow with Peter for this event, and in the summer for my Building Fluency.
Yeah, if you miss us in Moscow, you can go to Rostov-on-Don to play and learn seminar, play and learn where our games are sold actually. So it's a great reason to visit Rostov-on-Don.
I'm excited about that one as well.
As you see, the Don River and the play and learn seminar on building fluency and on surprise pedagogy on the 18th of
that will
August.
Be 20th, 21st of August in Rostov.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's great. So we have lots of plans, lots of ideas. It's pity the year is almost over. See you. Yeah,
but it's looking for a great summer.
Yeah.
All right, Peter. Thank you very much. Goodbye to everybody watching.
Yeah. Goodbye.
And see you in Moscow, St. Petersburg, or Rostov, or maybe in Europe later in the summer.
Yep.
Bye-bye, Peter. Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay.